Tom's video, and he was pretty much spot on. I'm going to show you a little bit more what I mean. I looked at your new drawing, and I thought there was some improvement. It looked a little more gestural. I think you could probably stand to draw a bit more boldly and aggressively. That is intimidating because it's like, I'm just going to make a big mess. And, yeah, that's what happens. But, good stuff comes from messes. I think for many years, a lot of the work I made was very difficult. It was difficult to tell what was going on. And, eventually, even like representations of things started to emerge out of the scribble. That being said, I'm going to cover how I would analyze this pose. So right now I'm drawing over this, right? In reality, I would not do that. In person, right? So I'm going to pretend that this drawing is a real person in front of me. And I'm going to break down what I look for. So these bony landmarks here that I'm pulling in, right? This is a good kind of starting point here. I look at those and I identify them on here, right? I handle the ribcage a little bit differently than they have here, but this is good. These are all things that I kind of keep an eye out for, right? And so if I was drawing this, I basically just like, the first thing I look for is, well, how are these points placed in relation to each other on the pose? So what I'm analyzing here is I am just marking down, essentially looking, okay, I got those, there's that, there's the pelvis right there, and there's got knees there. And I just look at the relationships of these points to one another. There's a clavicle, and then there's that one. And this is kind of what I pay attention to at first. And it's kind of strange, there's just a bunch of points on the page, but that's pretty much what my gestures kind of look like at first, as these points, and then I just like scribble in and connect them all loosely. And you will be surprised how bold and aggressive and almost sloppy a person can be, and have it still communicate all the weight and the gesture. Now right now I'm cheating because I'm kind of like tracing over this image. What did I have there? Oh, sorry about that. So this is, sorry. Whoops. So look here. That up, so his elbow is right there, and I can just draw there. Okay, so that's sort of the idea of it. But here I'm just going to show you how an actual gesture would, like, how I would draw that without tracing the points right over the image. It's quite similar. So I'm going to reduce this. I'm going to make this real small and throw it in the corner. Boop. All right. Wonderful. Okay. So pull that up. And now. All right. So now I'm drawing just as I would if something was right in front of me. So first, in mine, I think I would kind of look at these pelvis things first, right? And these, the iliac crest, I guess they call it. So I kind of start with the hips and the legs. Not everybody does that. I do the line of action, and then I start with the hips and the legs. The line of action is kind of like this line. If you had to condense the essence of the pose and throw it into one line, what would the shape of that line be? Now here's the catch. The action line varies from artist to artist. You do it based on what feels good. and you figure, or not what feels good. You do it based on kind of what feels right and what sets the stage for a successful gesture. Now, here's the deal: if you're inexperienced, right, you don't know what sets the stage. So it means you kind of gotta get a feel for action lines by making a lot of unsuccessful drawings at first. But here's what mine would look like. It would look like that, right? It's kind of there. You see? So that's what I would do for the action line. So from here, I start with like that iliac crest, and I go to the knees, and yeah, that's kind of what the feet are doing, I guess. Right, so I notice that this foot is back here. This is I love the way he draws legs like this. Is back there. So I just focus on kind of the pelvis. Now the pelvis is like rolled a little bit back. And then the feet. I need to zoom in a bit. Okay, yeah, that foot. Sorry, I couldn't see that. So this foot is actually a bit. Yeah, that feels better to me. Anyway, so yeah, this knee right here is a little higher than this one. Okay, that's way too much higher. So I am looking at the relationship of these knees, and then these feet, right? And it might not be exactly what the image is, but I'm just analyzing there. And then I come up, draw the head. You know, I look at the elbow, and I analyze the relationship of the elbow to the middle of the body, right there. And this elbow is up here, right? So this is where the head goes, something like this. And I might throw an X over it just to indicate kind of the direction of it, and that there, and then his arm is here. This, you know, I realize I put his elbow a little too close to the face. I'll put it over there, and that's kind of how I do this. As for the rib cage, it's belted outwards a bit, and I have my own basic shape for the rib cage versus the pelvis. You know, this is kind of the shape that I use. Again, this will vary from artist to artist, but that's what I'm most comfortable with. You know, maybe something more like that. And it comes in. And yeah, there we go. So this is sort of the rib cage shape that I use. And here it's busted out. It's like bent back, while the pelvis is rolled forward a little. So yeah, that's how I would gesture that. Now, that is not in real time. Right? So if I was doing this in a minute or something, let me get my phone, do this in a few seconds. It would not look this good. But the speed is meant to make you go in bold and aggressive. Right? Because that boldness and the aggression suits the energy of the pose. And that is not to say that only emotional poses demand a bold and aggressive drawing style. Human anatomy that is expressive demands bold, aggressive drawing. That's kind of how it goes. So you don't just reserve this for certain poses. This is for all of them. And I'm not somebody that likes to speak in generalizations. So let me make make that image a little bit clearer. There we go. Okay, I can see. I'm going to make this bigger before I start. Well, so I can see it better. There we go. All right. Here we go. I'm going to do a minute long pose here. Something feels a little strange about doing this. All right, here we go. So I start with the line of action. Got that. So, I am looking at the, I noticed that like the heels of his feet are kind of by his head there. Okay. Hang on, let me, this image is getting in the way. I'm gonna make it smaller. Oh no, that was on that layer. Whoops. All right, I'm gonna keep going. We'll just overlook that and okay, resume. All right. So this hand is up there, and that is kind of what this pose looks like when I do it. I have about 20 more seconds. Okay. And from there, I'm gonna put a little bit of meat on it, right? I don't like, it's seductive to be like, oh, I'm gonna get into the muscles, but the muscles, that can be a crutch a little bit. So there we go. There we go. That is my 1 minute gesture of this pose. Right? So, yeah, I hope that is helpful. You can see the ribcage shape here. Again, we're not going for big, beautiful drawings. We are just trying to get an analysis. And a good-looking image is a byproduct of solid analysis, right? So, if we are doing a good analysis of these bony landmarks, and we're drawing boldly and aggressively at the same time with our strokes, a good image will occur without even, or a good gesture will occur without a ton of, having to refine it and that kind of a thing. Anyways, I hope that's helpful. I hope you're enjoying yourself. Thanks.